Alright, let's get raw. Want to know why some men dive in head first when it comes to her pleasure? While others pull back like it's a battlefield, what's really going through a man's head when he's down there? Fear, love, ego, or something deeper? Oh, and here's the twist. This is less about sex and more about who we really are as men. Stick with me. 'Cause the last part of this, it'll change how you see yourself forever. One, pleasure in giving. You know what? Most don't get. True confidence isn't about what you take, it's about what you give. Some men feel a strange power in making their partner feel good, not because they're expecting anything back, but because that act of giving is the reward. It's like building a masterpiece, the payoff, watching her smile, her body language, her trust. That's the real trophy. Not your ego. Stoicism teaches us to control desire, not to kill it. But what if giving becomes the ultimate control? You don't chase validation anymore, you become it. To emotional bond. Here's the secret sauce nobody talks about: emotional intimacy. It ain't just about the ACT, it's about being vulnerable. Closeness, eye contact. Knowing someone so deeply that physical walls come crashing down. And yeah, it's scary, vulnerability always is, but for the Stoic man, facing fears isn't a choice. It's duty, letting go of ego to embrace her completely. That's where trust and connection are born. 3. Curiosity kills comfort. Let's be honest. Curiosity drives the boldest moves for some men. Exploring her reactions, her preferences. Her rhythm isn't just physical, it's art. You've got to approach it like a scientist. Observe, listen, adjust. Every move she makes is a clue. Every breath she takes is feedback. You ain't there to rush the process, you're there to study, to connect, to discover. And when you do, that's when things get real, the power flip. Here's where it gets spicy. Oral sex, it's a power play for some. It's about submission, giving control over to her, saying this moment is yours. That takes real courage. For others, it's about mastery, knowing you have the power to bring her to the edge and back like you're conducting a symphony. Either way, it's a dance between strength and vulnerability, and when done with respect, it's pure magic. 5. Breaking free from insecurities. This one's heavy. Most men carry baggage into the bedroom. Am I doing it right? Does she like it? Is this enough? Society screws us over, teaching us perfection instead of presence. Listen, perfection is a trap. What she wants isn't flawless technique. It's you being real. Being there. Stoicism reminds us, don't focus on things outside your control. Focus on what you can show up with effort, care, and an open mind. That's what makes the difference. 6. Taboos or chains. Let's get raw again. Why are men still afraid of oral sex? Because of stigma. Because of old, outdated beliefs about dominance, control, or shame. Real intimacy doesn't care about taboos. It's about acceptance. Loving every part of your partner. Physically, emotionally, and yes, sexually. When you reject these stigmas, you're not just freeing yourself. You're showing her she's fully accepted too. That's power. 7. Talk or walk. Here's the underrated hack: communication. Real talk. If you can't openly discuss what she likes, what she needs, and how she feels, you've already lost. And ask questions. Watch her body language. Experiment together. Intimacy isn't about ticking boxes. It's about exploration. When you're open and honest, the pressure fades and what's left magic. 8. The giver's high. This one's for the real ones, giving without expecting anything in return. The Stoics called it virtue. Today, we just call it love. When you focus 100% on her, when her joy becomes your mission, it's not just her who wins that connection, it strengthens you too. Relationships thrive when they're built on care and trust, not ego or games. Bonus. Idea 1. The warrior's vulnerability. Here's something most men won't admit. Showing vulnerability makes you stronger. Stoicism isn't about being cold, it's about being in control. And guess what? Letting your guard down. Focusing entirely on her needs. That's real control. That's courage. Most men run from. Bonus. Idea 2. The quiet revolution. This isn't about sex. It's about change in a world where men are told to dominate, control, and always take. Choosing to give is rebellion. You're rewriting the narrative. You're saying, I don't play by society's rules. I honor her. I see her. Bonus. 3. The masculine struggle between ego and vulnerability. Let's keep it real. There's an invisible tug of war happening inside every man during moments of intimacy. On one hand, society has hammered into us this idea of being the strong one. The protector, the provider, vulnerability that's supposed to be a weakness on the other hand when you're truly connected. To someone being vulnerable is what strengthens the bond. Oral sex, for some men, represents that vulnerability. It's not about losing power, but about dropping the mask society forces us to wear. It's about saying, I see all of you and I'm here for it. It's raw, unfiltered, and deeply human. The act itself becomes a symbolic gesture, a step away from ego and toward a sharp connection where nothing is held back. But here's the twist. Men who embrace this vulnerability often feel stronger. In the end, they realize that real masculinity isn't about walls. It's about having the courage to take them down. Bonus 4. Why men fear judgment and how it holds them back. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. A lot of men avoid action like oral sex out of a fear of being judged either by their partner, their own inner critic, or society's warped standards of manliness. Thoughts like, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if she's secretly comparing me to someone else can creep in, and suddenly intimacy becomes a battlefield of insecurities. Here's the kicker, though. This fear isn't about their partner, it's about themselves. It's rooted in a deep, almost primal worry of not measuring up. Men are constantly fed the idea that they have to perform, excel, dominate. Anything less, that's failure. But here's what most guys don't realize. Women don't crave perfection. They crave authenticity. The moment a man stops trying to prove himself and starts being present, listening, learning, engaging, is the moment he stops fearing judgment and starts building trust. And trust me, nothing is sexier than that. Bonus 5. The hidden power of silent confidence. Here's a secret most people won't tell you. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most confident. The same applies in relationships. Silent confidence, the kind where a man doesn't need to boast, prove, or perform, is magnetic. It's what makes a partner feel safe, valued, and deeply connected when it comes to intimacy. Silent confidence says, I'm here, fully present, and I've got you. It's not about fancy techniques or trying to tick every box in some imaginary checklist. It's about showing up with intention, paying attention to the little things, and letting actions speak louder than words. Silent confidence is also about being comfortable with the unknown. Not every moment will go perfectly, and that's okay. What matters is the willingness to show up, learn, and grow together. And when you do, you'll unlock a level of intimacy that goes far beyond the physical. It becomes something sacred, something unshakable. Final thoughts: be the man who dares. At the end of the day, relationships aren't built on grand gestures. They're built on small, consistent acts of care, curiosity, and vulnerability. Be the man who dares to step out of his comfort zone. Be the man who prioritizes connection over ego, who chooses intimacy over fear. If you're ready to go deeper, not just in your relationships, but in understanding yourself, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts or share your story. Let's start a conversation that challenges outdated norms and celebrates true connection. And remember, real men aren't afraid to love boldly. Let's break the cycle and redefine what it means to show up for the people we care about. See you in the next video.